Today, in the Cowbridge kitchen, we are going to make a nice, simple pork chops in mushroom and white wine sauce. We'll serve that up with some mashed potato and some peas or some veg. So, got some ingredients here. I'll show you what we need and we'll get this started. So, we're going to need some pork chops, obviously, because we're making pork chops in a mushroom and white wine sauce. So we've got, I've got 6 pork chops in here, so we're going to do all of them, okay, so they're nice. We're going to want 25 grams of butter, salted butter. We want 1 onion, which is going to be diced, and some lazy garlic. If you want to use, I say this every time, if you want to use a garlic clove, feel free, smash it up, get that in there. I'm using lazy garlic. Some mushrooms, okay, I've got 6, 9, about 12, 15 mushrooms in there. Now I'm just using plain button mushrooms, but if you want, you can use all different sorts. Use some chestnut mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, shiitake, all of those sorts of things, wild mushrooms if you like, because the more sort of diversity in that, the better the flavour. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use plain button mushrooms. We're going to want some cream, single cream, some flour and some white wine, okay, some nice dry white wine. There we are. So let me get you over to the stove and I'll show you how to get this going. So over at the stove now, okay, we've got a nice griddle pan here, okay, on the stove, which we're going to use to cook our pork. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our 25 grams of butter into this pan. And our olive oil as well, get that into the pan with the butter. Okay, so we'll get that melted and then we'll get those pork chops cooking in there for about 6 to 8 minutes. There we are, so our pan of butter and oil is all nicely melted. And what we're going to do now, just before we throw our pork chops in there, we're going to get our onions and garlic mix, okay? Finely chopped onions there with 1 teaspoon of lazy garlic in it. Let's get them in there. Just move them around the pan a little bit, get them cooking. And what we're going to do then is we're going to put our pork chops into this pan and get them cooking away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we are. Excuse me. Okay, about 3 or 4 minutes either side now, and pretty reasonable heat to get them cooking, okay? There we are, so they've been cooking on that side for about 3 or 4 minutes, I suppose. So what we're going to do now is just turn them all over in the pan. Move those onions around so they get all spread over them. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll cook them now on that side for about the same amount of time, another 3-4 minutes. Well, there we are then, guys. These pork chops have been cooking in here now for about 6 minutes all in all. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them out and we're going to pop them into an oven dish, which I've got here, and keep them warm in the oven. There we are, let's get all of those chops now. Try and leave as much of the onions that you can now, leave that in the pan. There we go. We've done with a bigger oven dish, but that'll do. There we are. And what we're going to do now is keep that pan, pop them into a very low oven on about 100, just to keep them warm. There we are. And they can stay in there, like I said, 100 to just 75 degrees centigrade. Probably about 100, and they'll stay in there now for however long it takes us to make up the rest of the dish. So with our pan, which is still on the stove, it's got all of the onions and all of that lovely pork juice in there. What we're going to do is we're going to throw our mushrooms in there and get them cooking in that same pan. There we are. We'll cook them off now for 2 or 3 minutes until they go nice and soft. Okay, so while our mushrooms are softening up in the pan with the onions and all of the pork juices, what we're going to do is just going to measure out our white wine. Okay, we want 175 mils there or thereabouts of this. So we're going to get 175 into there. There we are, just a little bit over. And we've got cream here, which we are about 250 mils of cream, okay? Single cream. What we're going to do with that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of plain flour. There we are, just a normal size, a small, not overly heaped teaspoon there of plain flour. Put that into the cream. Then we just mix that in there with a fork. There you go. Get that all mixed in. So as you can see, our mushrooms are all nicely softened and cooked. So what we're going to do now to this is we're going to add our white wine. Okay, so we'll get that in. There we are. Get that all mixed in. Scrape up all the bottom off the pan as well. Get all those pork juices mixed in with that wine. Basically what we want to do is reduce this fluid down to about half its volume, which is going to probably take about 5 minutes once we've got that sort of simmering away. There we are, and that's already smelling pretty fantastic. Okay, so our liquid now is reduced down to half, and it's producing a beautiful flavour to that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our cream and our flour mix straight into this pan. We're going to cook it for a little bit longer, about another 5 minutes. I'll get a lot of that in there. We'll mix all of that in so it's all mixed up and get it cooking. There we are. Okay, so at this stage, we've got our chops are still in the oven warming up. There's 2 ways that you can do this now. I can either add those chops into that pan, get them coated with all of the liquor, serve it out straight away. Or if, like me, you're going to serve this with some mashed potatoes, which I've got boiling at the back there on the stove, I'm going to put the liquid into the oven dish. I'm going to cover it with tin foil. I'm going to leave that in a warming oven, which is somewhere around about 75 degrees. And I can leave that in there for a little while I get our mash and our veg sorted out. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, there we go. There's our pork chops. So we'll just get that one so it's in there properly. Lift him out. There we are. Pop that back in there. So we've got a nice 6 lovely pork chops there. I'm going to get my sauce now, and we are just literally going to tip this all into the chops, okay, and that can just go back in the oven then, and that flavour on that is going to be absolutely delicious. Anyway, get as much of it out as you can. There we are, and they go back in the oven while I get the rest of it sorted out. There we are, so our mashed potato is just warming up in the microwave. Peas are cooked on there, so we'll drain them off. Our chops have been in that oven for about, 20 minutes or so. I'm going to get them out now, plate it up. Can't wait. Lovely white wine creamy pork chops on top of that. And what we can do is put a bit of cream from there, a bit extra over the top. There we are, guys. pork chops in a white wine and mushroom sauce served with some mashed potato, creamy mashed potato and peas. Delicious. And a glass of white wine just to wash it down with. Don't know what I'm going to enjoy the most, this or this. Probably this. Enjoy.